And I know eyebrows are sisters and not twins, but like mine are like distant cousins twice removed. I didn't pay for a nose job to sit here and have to contour my nose for an hour. What's up, you guys? Welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. I haven't done just like a full video dedicated to my makeup on here in at least over a year. You guys know I mainly do like vlogs, and if I do include makeup, it's like included in the vlog. This is going to be my updated makeup routine. I've been telling you guys that I'm gonna do this video because I've been getting so many compliments on my makeup. I truly have switched up my products, my techniques. I feel like I was in a big rut with my makeup. Like I would do my makeup and I wouldn't really love the way it turned out. But lately, you guys, like my makeup has been looking so good. Like filter in real life. I've been getting so many compliments too. Like people are asking me what products I'm using, or even I go to events and people are like, who did your makeup? Because they think I got it like professionally done. So when I tell you guys I got this soft glam look down, I can't wait to share it with you guys. I know I've been saying I'm gonna do this video for such a long time, but I'm not gonna lie, the Sephora sale really encouraged me because we know the Sephora sale is always amazing, and I'm like, you know what? Let me share all the products I use so people can get a nice little discount when they shop if they wanna buy anything. So as always, I'll link all the products that I use down below in the description box. Let's get into this routine. When I'm telling you guys, this is truly my entire makeup routine. Like I am starting with a bare face. Usually when I start my makeup for like reels and TikToks, I at least have my brows filled in, I have my makeup prep on. We are starting from scratch. Like I literally just washed my face, and I'm gonna show you guys every single step. I always start out applying some lip balm. I'm not super picky. I just got this one in PR from Tower 28 and let it kind of marinate on my lips while we work on the rest of our makeup. So I always start off with my brows, and one thing that I switched up in my routine that's made the world of a difference is I apply the concealer for my eyebrows before I fill them in. I feel like by doing this, it provides almost like a guide. Like think about outlining a picture first and then coloring it in. In turn, like I don't use as much product. And not only that, you guys, I always do my brows before I apply any skincare. You can apply skincare, which I might do just because my face feels dry, but I avoid my forehead because I feel like if I have any sort of like moisturizer or primer or anything like that on my forehead, it makes it hard to fill them in. I'm gonna apply some moisture because my face feels dry. Like I said, I haven't applied any type of moisturizer to my skin. So I'm just gonna apply it to the lower half of my face and my neck. I'm also going to apply my eye cream now. This is the Kiehl's Creamy Eye Treatment. I'm not too picky with my eye creams, but I just highly recommend using an eye cream. Like I can't do my makeup without one. So I'm gonna apply eye cream now, and I like this one because you guys can see it's like super thick, and I almost feel like it conceals a little bit. Like, do you guys see that? But again, I'm not super picky, but I like to apply eye cream right before I start my makeup. And then I also, you're gonna see I'm gonna go back with eye cream before I apply my under eye concealer, because I've noticed like my under eyes can look very dry. I like how I said I start with eyebrows and then I did 20 million things, but no, for real, I like to start with my eyebrows. So I'm taking a little flat brush like this. You know what, we need to talk about brushes because the brushes are so important. I find so many times, you guys, people are just like, this product doesn't look good on me, or I'm just not good at doing my makeup, and they're like, I spent all this money at Sephora, I buy all this high-end makeup that everybody else is using, but for some reason my makeup doesn't look good. And I'm like, girl, it's not the product that you're using, it's the way you're applying it. You really have to play around with products. Everybody has different skin, everybody has different skin texture. Sometimes it's your application. Maybe you're not using the right brush. So makeup really isn't a one size fits all. Like you really have to just play around with it. There's just so much that goes into creating the perfect makeup routine. And guys, I've been wearing makeup since I was literally in 7th grade, and I feel like just now at 25 I got my makeup routine on lock. Like literally it took over a decade. The best thing to do in my opinion is to find a beauty influencer that has similar skin tone as you, similar skin type, and do whatever they're doing. Here's what this brush looks like that I'm gonna use for my eyebrow. So you guys can see it's like super flat and sharp. This is from the Sigma X Beauty Bird collection. I'm not sure if it's still available, but this is the concealer I'm using. This is the Lancome Teint Idol Wear All Over Concealer. This is in the shade 110. I love this concealer. This is definitely in my top 2 concealers of all time. So again, I'm just going in and tracing underneath my brow. Another thing about me, guys, is I have very acne prone skin. My skin, knock on wood, is doing very well right now. It's in a good place. but I have noticed that makeup does aggravate my acne. So I really have to look out for the ingredients that I'm using in my makeup. So pretty much everything I'm using today is acne friendly. Like I put them all through a ingredient checker, and it will highlight to me which ingredients in it can clog your pores. So I do have a few makeup products in my routine that can clog pores, and I will point those out to you guys. But overall, my routine is pretty acne safe. Like for example, this concealer isn't acne safe, but the places that I put it, like I just use it underneath my eyes and for my eyebrows, so it's not a big deal to me. And I'll kind of bring it down to my lid to prime my lid. I don't necessarily prime my lid, but I take that concealer and I buff it down my eyelid just to cover up veins, because I do have veiny eyelids. This is something else I've been implementing into my makeup routine, is after I just line the concealer, I will take a little bit of powder, like the slightest amount of translucent powder, and I'll dust it over my eyebrows. I really think the trick to doing brows, and guys, brows are so important. Like they frame your whole face. I feel like if your brows are off, like the makeup is never gonna look as elevated as you want it to look. And I know eyebrows are sisters and not twins, but like mine are like distant cousins twice removed. They've came a long way, don't get me wrong, but I'm gonna say something that's gonna ruffle some feathers, but I personally think like a black eyebrow pencil like should be abolished. Even if you have jet black hair, I think like when your brows are too dark, and I'll sometimes do that myself, like see I have like brown hair, so automatically I'll think like, oh, let me use like dark brown pencil. I feel like my makeup didn't start looking good until I switched over to almost like blonde pencils. Like I use pencils like for blonde hair. I love the OG Anastasia Brow Wiz. I feel like I've tried so many other brands and I always just go back to Anastasia, but I use the shade Soft Brown, and I'll even use like the shade Taupe sometimes, but I will never go darker than Soft Brown. Even Ash Brown, Medium Brown, maybe, but I use Soft Brown. So if you feel like your brows, like you just haven't been feeling your brows, maybe try a lighter brow pencil. Like don't be scared to go lighter. So I use these short little stroke motions. As you guys can see, the fronts of my brows are uneven, so I have to just try to match them up. Like as you guys can see, this arch is a little higher, so I'll try to add more arch here. Also, I like my eyebrows closer together. Everybody's different. Like some people like to use their brow gel, like they'll gel their brows and then they'll fill them in. That has never looked good on me. It gives me a gunky brow. So I just like to stick to my pencil. And then you guys are gonna see, I don't apply gel to my eyebrows until like, it's like one of my last steps. The more powder I put on my face makeup, like everything's gonna get stuck to that brow gel. And again, it's gonna give me that gunky brow. See, I'm bringing it a little closer to the front. When I'm done with the brow too, I will sometimes go back in with concealer just to sharpen it up. I'll also take whatever's left over, clean up the top of my brow. But I use the slightest amount around my brow. Who knows, maybe I have some young people watching this who know nothing about them 2016 brows, but oh my God, we were using ABH Dip Brow. Like we were literally using like paint to fill in our eyebrows. So here's one eyebrow filled in. Again, we're gonna come back to the brows, but here's a filled in brow. I'm gonna do this one off camera and I'll be right back. I'm done filling my brows. As you guys can tell, this is my good brow. We all have that good brow. This one went to Harvard and got a PhD. This one, I don't even know. So at this point, I like to do my eyes, and there's a reason I like to do my eyes first. I like to do my eyes before my base for the most part, because I love the look of a super highlighted under eye. And guys, that's what makes that, I want to say LA style of makeup. Every city has its own style, but if you guys love that like baby doll, Fashion Nova type glam. So this is the makeup palette I've been using. So I just switched over to the Patrick Ta palette. You guys know I was using Makeup by Mario for literally 4 years straight. Like I was using Makeup by Mario for every single look. And it's not that I don't like that palette anymore. I just literally got tired of it. So now I switched over to Patrick Ta. It's pretty similar, honestly. This is the Major Dimension 3 matte eyeshadow palette. Oh my gosh, it looks so dirty. But here's what the colors look like. I'm going in with this color right here. So let me just show you guys the colors that I use in this palette. I use these three. I'll use a little bit of this brown, and I'll also use this brown for my eyeliner. And then I'll use these two on my lid. I'm gonna go in with this crease shade first. I'm just gonna begin buffing that in my crease. I actually just remembered, I actually go with this one first for my crease, and then I go in with this one. But it's okay, it's not a big deal. I'm just taking that shade and just going on top. that crease color. Once I blend that out, I'm gonna go ahead and use this color right here. Sometimes I'll mix these two. Like I'm not super exact with my eyeshadows, but I just kind of keep the same formula, like a lighter brown in the crease, a darker brown in the outer V, and then I use like the darkest brown for my liner and just focus that on the outer V. I'm gonna mix these two colors and I'm gonna pat this on my lid. I usually have to go back in with the crease brushes just to help blend that out. This step, you guys, really takes your makeup to a whole nother level. So when you guys look at those Soft Glam makeup, I promise you, all of those looks have this in common. They have a smoked out liner. So I love doing a winged eyeliner, but once I started applying my eyeshadow on top of it to mattify the eyeliner, it's not even like I necessarily smoke out the eyeliner, but adding the shadow mattifies the eyeliner, and I swear it takes your Soft Glam to a whole nother level. This right here is the Too Faced Better Than SEX eyeliner. This is in the shade Chocolate. But the trick here is you're gonna do one eye at a time. So while the eyeliner is still wet, honestly just load your brush right now just to make it go easier, because you don't want your eyeliner to dry down. So I'm gonna grab a super small brush. Honestly, any small dense brush will be good for this. You just want it to be dense and tiny. I'm gonna pick up this dark brown right here, and it does not have to be perfect because you're gonna see, we're gonna clean it up with the Q-tip. So again, while that liner is still wet, I'm gonna take my shadow, that brown eyeshadow, and start smudging it out. See, again, it doesn't need to be perfect. We're gonna clean it up, but you just want it to be smoked out. I'm gonna line the other side. I'm gonna take that brown shadow. I'm not gonna line with the eyeliner all the way into my inner corner, but I'm gonna take the shadow and just add that brown. I know I said that about a million other steps, but this is the step that really just like took it to the next level for me. You want to pick up some Q-tips, and I'm not just talking about regular Q-tips. I was just using regular fluffy Q-tips and it just wasn't performing until I noticed Anna Heart Makeup. She does a phenomenal job on my makeup, but she would use Q-tips that were shaped like this. See how they're not like super fluffy, like they're just pointed, but I just take a little bit of micellar water and then I clean up the line. But see, I also clean up the shadow, I clean up everything. So that's it for the eyes right now. We're gonna come back to it. I'm gonna apply my lashes last, just because I don't wanna get any concealer or foundation on them or powder or anything. Now we can move on to our face. So for primer, you guys saw me use this earlier. I used that for the lower half of my face, but now I'm gonna apply it to my forehead as well. This is the Ilia The Face Base Milk. So it's just a super watery, lightweight moisturizer. It's kind of like an essence. So this is where I kind of disagree with like what we see on TikTok and stuff. I think people are dragging it with the priming. I do think you should have something on your face to prime, and I do think primer is important. But yo, I be seeing people do like 10 layers of like serums and moisturizer and this, that, and a third under their makeup, and if that works for you, that works for you, but I don't think it's necessary. Again, don't get me wrong, I love primer, but I like my primer to be like skincare infused. You know, add some hyaluronic acid in there, moisturize my skin. So that's why I just like to use this like lightweight moisturizer. I feel like when you layer on too many things, that's when you can risk products not agreeing with each other and not layering well, and then you get like, what is it called? Piling? Like, what is it called again? When it like balls up on your face, like all of the products. That's the worst. But a primer that I love to use, I do like to go in with like kind of like a silicone primer for my T-zone, because I do have, pretty much everybody has pores on their T-zone, on their nose. So I like to use something for that. I love using the One Size Secure the Blur Primer. I love this stuff, especially because it has no pore clogging ingredients. A lot of primers, especially primers with this texture, can really clog your pores. So I just like to take a little bit. I don't apply this to my whole face. I don't have oily skin. Let me say that. I don't have oily skin. My skin is on the drier side, but I just like to take a little bit and just apply it to my T-zone. And Patrick also says to leave it on for a few minutes before you go in with the rest of your makeup to create a good barrier for like the sweat and the oil. As you guys can see, I am down to my last drop of my Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. This is definitely something I'm repurchasing during the sale. but I like to spray this on my face as my primer as well. But I like to cover my eyes whenever I spray my face. Let's talk face products. So for a while, I thought I liked the concealer trend of like just using concealer. But like I said, you guys, I have acne prone skin, and I have found that a lot of concealers, a majority of concealers, have pore clogging ingredients. So I've actually been loving this combination right here, and both of these don't contain any pore clogging ingredients. So if you have acne prone skin, definitely check these two products out. But this right here is the Kosas BB Burst. This is one of their newest products, but this is a tinted gel cream. So I'll go in with this first. And then this is one of my top foundations. Like, everybody loves this foundation. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't love it at first, but it grew on me, and it has fermented arnica in it. Like, it's truly formulated for problematic skin. So this right here is the Haus Labs foundation. I'm in the shade 200 light medium in this, and I'm in light medium in this one as well. But I was reading reviews about this Kosas BB cream, and there's a lot of mixed reviews. But let me just say that I don't use this by itself. All the reviews I was seeing, people are just using this as their like main face product, but I like to use this as my base and then go in with my foundation. Another high-end foundation that I love, and I was actually very shocked, does not have any pore clogging ingredients, is the YSL All Hours foundation. So if you're somebody who like wants a super bougie high-end foundation, I honestly love this stuff, and I'm in the shade, what shade am I? LN9. Even the packaging is like super luxe. I'm gonna wash my hands real quick. That's something else, you guys. I always make sure to wash my hands before I touch my face. Do you know what else I just recently realized? Because we're realizing things now, but sponges harbor so much bacteria. It's almost impossible to sanitize a sponge. I don't wear makeup every day. I honestly wear like a glam like this maybe 2 times a week. But now I switch out my sponge. Like, this is a brand new sponge. Like, I switch it out probably every, I would say like 4 glam sessions. I get a pack off of Amazon. These are like the Paw Paw sponge. They come in like a pack of, I don't even know, like 9. But y'all, change your sponge, okay? Please change your sponge. Don't be like me and be like, oh my God, why am I breaking out? When you're using a year-old, nasty, bacteria-infested sponge. So I apply the Kosas gel cream. By the way, the owner of Kosas, like the founder, she's Persian. I had no idea. Go in with my brush and quickly pounce that in. So after I blend that out, I'm gonna go ahead and use my Haus Labs foundation. My skin, again, is on the drier side, so I felt like it almost like clung. Oh my God, my grammar is the worst. I'm sorry, I don't speak English. Very good. But I found that when I would put it on with a brush, I don't know, I just feel like it emphasized my dry skin, but when I use a wet beauty blender, it just looks so good on. This is definitely something else I need to repurchase. Get your ears too. But by using that BB cream as my first step, I use way less foundation. But do not be lazy with this step, you guys. Like, bring it down your neck, put it on your ears. Like, when you guys see red carpet makeup, like when I tell you you're being painted, like your whole chest behind, if you're doing an updo, they put foundation like back here. I'm so mad. I literally woke up this morning with this zit. I'm like, of course, the day I knew I wanted to film this, I break out. Now on to cheek products. I also want to say that if you feel like your makeup just never looks, like, you know how you go on TikTok and Instagram and people literally shapeshift and you're like, my makeup doesn't make up like that. I promise you, you're not using enough makeup. That was my problem. Like, I wouldn't go in with creams. I wouldn't go in with layers. Like, I would just use one wash of bronzer and be like, okay, I'm done, and wonder why it doesn't look like red carpet makeup. So makeup is layers, you guys. Like, those makeup looks that you're seeing, aside from a little bit of Facetune or whatever, they are applying layers of product. Like, it's not just one quick little swipe of bronzer. So these are the 2 cream contours that I love. The one I'm using today is from Saie Beauty. I believe that's how you pronounce it. S-A-I-E, Saie Beauty. I'm using the shade Tan Bronze, but it's just like a cream like this. And then I also love the Rare Beauty Stick, but I'm running low on my Rare Beauty Stick. I don't even think I have that much left. Oh, I have a little bit. This one's also great too, but if I apply this one, like, never just go in with the stick, you guys. Take your brush, take the product. I'll even like pat it on the back of my hand, and then I'll melt it into my skin. Contouring, again, is something that's customizable to your face shape. Fun fact, was it my junior year of high school or my senior year? I think it was my junior year. But we had to make like a presentation, like style project, and it could be on any topic that you wanted. I literally picked highlighting and contouring. I wish I still had the video, but I literally made a video and showed it to my whole class of me doing a makeup tutorial. I like to focus it back here, forehead. I like to go in with my contour first and then my concealer. I also just take whatever is left over on the brush and I do my nose real quick. I didn't pay for a nose job to sit here and have to contour my nose for an hour. Like I just quickly take a quick little dab with whatever's left over and call it a day. I almost feel like because I do have a nose job, if I contour it too much, then it looks too fake, you know? Onto the under eye, and again, I feel like I'm saying this about every step, but the under eye is so important. Like I truly believe the under eye will completely transform your look. First thing I do before we apply any product, where's my little eye cream? This here is the Murad Targeted Eye Depuffer. I will reapply my eye cream right before I apply my concealer, my under eye concealer. This is another hack I like to do. I actually do this after I apply my foundation, but I totally forgot. But I take a tissue or even toilet paper, you just want something thin, put it over my beauty blender, and I just pounce it just to pick up any excess product. See, it just picked up a little bit. For the under eye, I just recently started to implement a color corrector, and when I tell you, it changed the game. So it's not only using a corrector, but it's the placement. So I saw a video just recently of Desi Perkins. She was getting her makeup done by Glam Tech Steven, and I noticed when he was putting on her under eye, he put the color corrector just right here under her wing. And when I saw him doing that, I looked at my eyes and I'm like, you know what? That area is actually very red and purple compared to the rest of my under eye. So I love the Huda Beauty corrector. This one, like everybody's loving this color corrector. This is the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Corrector. It's so high coverage, yet so thin. It's amazing. Like this is definitely something that needs to be in your Sephora sale bag if it's not like in your checkout. What am I saying? Your cart. It needs to be in your cart if it isn't already, but it's just so thin and applies beautifully under your concealer. I have used other correctors before that made my under eye feel and look cakey. Also gonna bring it in the inner corner. Another step that I feel like a lot of people don't do is clean out their inner corner. You wanna make sure you get all those little eye boogies, and sometimes it doesn't even look like you have eye boogies, but I promise you, take a little Q-tip, take your little pointed Q-tip, and just dig in there, and I promise you there's something. And that's what's gonna get mixed in your makeup, and it's the worst when you look in the mirror after a few hours and you see like all these eye boogies crusted up, and you're like, where did those even come from? Like I see I had a tiny one right here. Also for my under eye, using a brush has been a huge game changer. It definitely gives you more of that glam airbrushed look versus using a sponge. So I let that dry down a bit, and I'm gonna blend that out before I go in with my concealer. So now for my under eye concealer, you guys saw me mention this Lancome one earlier, and I was like, this is in my top 2. This is my other favorite right here. This is the Dior Forever Skin Correct. I am literally out of this. This is empty. Again, I'm waiting for the sale to repurchase this, but I actually went to go repurchase it like a few weeks ago and it was out of stock. So clearly everybody loves it. I just don't see people talking about it on social media. And back in the day, I used to apply like a huge triangle with my concealer. You really don't need to do that. I still think you need to apply a good amount of concealer, but just be more strategic with where you place it. And I'll always take my concealer under the wing. That's what's really gonna give you that airbrush lifted appearance. I feel like we all used to be obsessed with the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I still like it. Even with the applicator, I don't like the super skinny applicator. I like a fatter applicator for my concealer. But I'm using this because it's super white. Like you guys can see the shade. It's very light. So I'm taking this and applying it under the wing to help with the highlighting. And then I'm also gonna take it down the bridge of my nose. A little bit on my chin. I don't like to take my concealer on my forehead because I feel like it looks cakey. Quick water break while I let that dry for a little bit. This is the Lunar Beauty and Laura Lee collab, but this brush, you guys, is bomb. I feel like Real Techniques has a brush very similar to this, but I love how it's like, I just love the shape. You want to be careful when you get close to the eyeliner. You don't want to get it on the eyeliner. But I will pat this all the way out. Just to thin it out a tad, I'm gonna use my beauty blender, but I'm gonna make sure it's as dry as possible. It's a quick little dabaroo. Also, I use like the same brush for pretty much all my face steps. I just wipe it off. So I'm using this one from It Cosmetics. This is the Rare Beauty cream blush in the shade Happy. So I just like to take it on the back of my hand and I dab my brush in there. But guys, a little goes a long way. Like, that's a lot. This is enough for both cheeks. I'm gonna go back into that concealer brush to make sure I have no harsh lines. You know, I actually lost some of the brightness on this side. So I'm gonna put a little bit more of that concealer on top. Now time for powder, and I swear when people say they don't use powder, I'm just like, how? And that's coming from someone with dry skin. Like, the way powder just airbrushes everything and just locks everything in, like, I can't fathom not using powder. This isn't a sponge. I don't know what you would call this, but this one's from Huda Beauty. But you can buy a pack of these from Amazon. But I take the powder, I pat it on the back of my hand so I'm not just putting like a ton of powder on. And by the way, this is the Givenchy Prisma Libre powder, and it kind of has like a pink tone to it. Make sure you go back in one more time with your sponge before you officially set your under eye. So I will try to keep my eyes looking up as much as I can. And see guys, like my eyeliner got a little lost in the sauce after applying the powder. You can go back in and darken it. Like, that's the thing too. Like, these professional makeup artists, they don't just like do your eye and then they're done. Like, they keep coming back. Go ahead and press that in as well. So for bronzer, this is a product I've been recently using. This is the Too Faced Sun Bunny, and you guys can see it's like 2 different shades. Focus, hello. Yeah, you guys can see it's like 2 different shades. But yeah, I just barely take it on a big fluffy brush. Just set that. Take a little on my chin. I don't go too heavy with the bronzer around this area. Just whatever's left over. And then taking my fluffy crease brush, I'm gonna go in and add some bronzing powder right to this area to snatch everything without doing like a full nose contour. For blush, guys, I was shocked. A lot of the blushes I was using had like an ingredient or 2 that could clog your pores. And again, like, because I broke out just on my cheeks, like, again, my skin, knock on wood, has been doing really good, but it's like just on this area I was getting acne. I'm like, okay, maybe it's my cheek products. These blushes from, why can't I open this one? These blushes from Too Faced that I love to use, these passed the product checker. So this is the Too Faced Cloud Crush Blurring Blush. This one right here is in the shade Head in the Clouds, and then this one's in the shade Velvet Crush. They're pretty similar in shade. I'm gonna probably mix these 2. This is always the blush brush I use. It's from my collab with BH Cosmetics. Guys, I would do anything to bring that collab back. But I'm just gonna mix these 2 together. This is a product I just recently started using, I would say like 2 months ago, but this is like a favorite amongst makeup artists. So I'm like, you know what? I need to get my hands on it. It is pretty pricey. It's like $70. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette, the Volume 2 one. So I was reading reviews on this and I totally agree. Like, this is a product that you're gonna see when you take a flash photo. So it really helps to give that like gorgeous soft focus like to the skin, but you probably won't notice the biggest difference like to the eye. But if you're taking like pictures, like this would be great for, you know, your clients. Just lightly going over my cheek. And then I'm taking that lightest shade and applying it to my under eye as well. Just quickly dusting that. I also always like to take a powder underneath my contour for my glam looks because I really feel like it just helps elevate the look. So this here is the One Size Turn Up the Base powder in the shade Translucent. I definitely need to get this powder in like a good skin tone shade and just set under there. I'm also gonna take my Charlotte Tilbury. This is also another really good one. Airbrush Finish Powder and also go under there. And again, it can look very white, but that's why I go back in with my brush and I blend it out. Again, I need to get a good skin tone shade. That's another thing I'm gonna get during the sale. Kind of hard with lighting to really see, but here, this is like when I look to the side You can see it looks very airbrushed. I don't know if you can tell, but in real life, like the side that I powdered down looks a lot more airbrushed. Also gonna take some of that Charlotte Tilbury powder and just putting the slightest amount on my forehead. Again, I don't like too much going on my forehead. It can look very cakey on me. Last of the powders, I promise. This is the Huda Beauty Easy Bake and Snatch powder in the shade Cherry Blossom. I don't know if you can tell with the lighting, but it has a slight pink undertone. We are gonna use this under our eyes. Just a quick little pounce. It's kind of what I hate about how makeup has just kind of shifted to short format content, because you guys don't see those steps. Like, you don't see the person going back and reapplying their blush and fixing their eyeliner and doing this and doing that. So it almost makes you feel insecure when you're doing your makeup. Like, am I applying too much? Am I like not doing it right? So that's why I was like, I need to make a 30, 40 minute long makeup tutorial, and I need to explain every single step. Because again, I just feel like with the times, like everyone's like good at makeup now, and we've lost the like true tutorials. But a lot of people are just now getting into makeup. They're now reaching the age where they want to wear makeup, or even like, I know like prom is around the corner. So we need the long tutorials back, you know? This is one of my favorite highlighters of all time, Benefit Cookie. Just the littlest amount. My nose as well. We are officially done with the base, so now we can go in with our sprays. Again, I love this one from Charlotte Tilbury, but I swear this is like my last. I think after this spray, I have to throw it away. Also, I like to cover up this area of my face because I like this area to be very airbrushed. Like, I don't want it to look melted in. Literally using the last drops. Oh my gosh. But it goes to show how much I like a product. I repurchased this like 4 times. Come on. Oh, nothing's coming out. A spray I just started using on my skin because I didn't think of it as a setting spray. Again, I don't use this as a setting spray. This isn't a setting spray, but I like to use this to kind of melt my makeup in. I saw somebody use it on TikTok and I was like, oh my gosh, that's like such a good idea. Let me try it. This is the Caudalie Beauty Elixir. Y'all, I got a fresh blowout. Like, I'm not playing. Cover my eyes. Y'all, we are almost done, and this is honestly like my favorite part of doing my makeup. I kind of think of it as the icing on the cake. We just gotta do lashes, lips, some brow gel, and we're done. So lashes, guys, I honestly just get a huge pack from Amazon. Amazon has great lashes. I'll link some of my favorite styles for you guys down below. I love this one specifically because it's a half lash, so I don't have to cut it. This is probably my favorite high-end mascara. This is the Lancome Lash Idol Mascara. After I apply my lashes, I like to go back in with eyeliner just to like cover the lash band. I hate when the lash band looks shiny, or if the glue dries clear. I hate that look. See guys, like this is very tedious. Like I do this makeup max once a week, literally just for events. So yeah, I go in with the liquid eyeliner and then I also set it with the eyeshadow again. And I always like to curl the false eyelashes with the real eyelashes. Like, see what a big difference that makes? I like to keep my lower lash line bare. Again, this is personal preference. You can go in and apply eyeshadow, like do whatever you want. I do like to do a little bit of mascara, like the slightest bit. So now I'm gonna go back to the brow since I'm done with my powders. I'm using the Refi brow gel. Favorite brow gel is the Rare Beauty brow gel. It was out of stock last time I tried to buy it. And the Too Faced brow wax. I'll have those both linked down below for you guys, but those two are my favorite and I'm out of those two, but this one will do. Now onto lips. I always wipe off that lip balm and I'll take my powder, whatever's left, and powder. My lip combo is forever changing, but these two have definitely been my favorite lip pencils. I pretty much use the same color lip pencil. I like to go for like a darker pinky brown. So this one right here is like my newest one and I'm obsessed with it. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in the shade Iconic Nude. This is definitely very popular. Another one I love is the Makeup Forever pencils. This one's in the shade Wherever Walnut. Anywhere Caffeine is a good one as well, but I'm just gonna use the Charlotte Tilbury one since it's sharpened already. I always blend out my lip liner with my finger a bit. For lipstick, I'm using Charlotte Tilbury as well. This is in the shade Kim KW. So it's like that perfect nude. Again, I'm constantly changing my lip colors, but I just keep the same formula. Like this color of lip liner, a pinky lipstick, and then I always like to add a little gloss. And then I'm gonna go back in with my lip liner. This makes a huge difference, you guys. So after you apply your lip color, go back in with your lip liner to just kind of define everything a little bit more. This lip gloss is an OG for me. I've literally been using it for like 4 or 5 years. This is the Bobbi Brown Crushed Oil Infused Gloss in the shade In the Buff. I feel like nobody talks about Bobbi Brown anymore, and I love their products. Like Bobbi Brown for me, I'll never forget, our like school book fair, literally in elementary school, I purchased like a Bobbi Brown book about makeup. Like they literally had it at the Scholastic Book Fair, and I was obsessed with that book. Okay guys, we are done with the makeup. This is how I do my go-to glam makeup. I'm telling you guys, this makeup is foolproof. It looks great in photography, it looks great in real life. And this literally took me like 3 hours to film, but it usually takes me about an hour and a half to do. But yeah, guys, I'm just so in love with all these techniques. I'm so in love with all these products. Again, all the products I showed in today's video will be linked down below for you guys. And make sure you take advantage of the Sephora sale. I'll definitely be picking up some things like I mentioned in this video. But again, I really hope this video helped you guys out. I know what it's like to be in a rut with your makeup and feel like you're doing everything right, but it still like doesn't look good. So hopefully some of these tips and tricks helped you out, or some of these product recommendations. So please let me know down below. Also, please give this video a big thumbs up. It will help me out and it will let me know that you guys like these types of videos. But I love you guys so much, and I'll see you again for my next video. Bye guys.